Come on, cook it.
What are you eating? Food.
Oh, it says we're live, and we're.
Go look. You're not eating anything. I didn't even see you go back there. You're eating food. You got bamboozled. Never fluff. I said to the girl, please on there. Wouldn't I do this? Let's get this real. Little, like, that thing. It looks staged. So, like, it looks real. It looks like on a stage. Wait, is that yeah. Donald Trump. Good. There's one that was like a caption that said, "Me to my cat. Hi baby, my cat." SpongeBob SquareDrive.
I'm not getting my connector to work quite the way I want it to. Here I go. Okay. Hello. I'm just setting up our live stream. I'll turn this off so we were not. Okay, we're going to begin our presentations. This is my 3rd hour media tech class. And we're going to begin with a presentation from Mr. Aiden. You ready, sir?
Yeah. I'm just going to play this in the background. And this is the video that I got the inspiration from. He's a former NASA scientist named Mark Rober. I very much recommend you check him out. He's
cool.
He's amazing.
And this was like, does he have his own like YouTube channel?
Yeah, Mark Rober. And he holds the record for the world's largest functional Nerf gun and the world's largest functional Super Soaker. So.
All good things.
Yes. And so basically he explains this in more detail, but it's a fluidized bed is just when, if you do it right, you put air up through a bed of sand or other like sliced onions or paint or something, and then if the air going up equals the same as the gravity going down on each particle of sand, you'll see this is 4 times at 20,000 frames per second. You can see, I mean, they kind of just float there, and when you put your hand through it, it kind of just feels like liquid, which is why it's called a fluidized bed. And this is his smaller version, and when I started this project, his video was the only video out there on how to do it, and it wasn't really instructional, so I basically had this image to go off of, as well as these, and it's you drill 1mm holes, like it's 25 millimeters apart on both sides, and then should be, and I didn't have a 1mm drill bit because they don't
Did
sell
you do
those.
bigger or smaller?
I did 16th inch, which is like half a millimeter larger or something along those lines. But it's used, like I mentioned earlier, for lots of industrial purposes, like powder paint coating, like all this stuff, in silos to get it to flow smoothly to the exit point.
You guys know what powder coating is when you do with paint? It's like it creates a hard surface, like when you're going to paint a car or motorcycle or anything, you do that powder paint coat first because it creates the right surface to put something else on top of it. But it's like a hardened, very fine, hard coat.
And so this is mine, and I had more pictures on it, but I think I lost them somewhere along the line. So this is just a few. And it kind of works. You can see here, and you can see the sand moving down, kind of fluidizing. It works in like that 1/4 of an inch area right up there. Your finger in it does feel a little bit like fluid, but I honestly wasn't very sure what was wrong, why I wasn't doing more, and I came up with 2 things. One, this is the sand I used, an up-close picture, and notice it is very fine grained, like through here. You also have these larger points up here, which I think is one of the main reasons why it wasn't. It was just so inconsistent that I couldn't get the right air pressure to go fluidize all of it. I also think, one of my other major things was maybe the air compressor wasn't doing what it was supposed to, since we had an older air compressor and I kept hearing leaks in the air compressor area. And so I took it to my grandparents' house, and I don't actually have pictures of this, so sorry. But we hooked it up to his air compressor, and we had the exact same thing happen here.
As here.
So I think currently I'm planning on using this as a personal project until I get it right now. So we ordered a very fine grained sand called glass beads, often used in sandblasting to take off paint and stuff like that. And we're gonna try that.
Go back to your example video. Let's see if we can tell. I like what he was using. Because I think your density of, okay, so of course it's physics. It's got to do with how your pressure versus the density of your product. If you go back to can you go back to the beginning of what he was showing you? Yeah. So like when he runs that. So look at the sand he's got.
Yeah.
And I'm just trying to see, look at he's got a lot more pressure too, and the sand is, see how it flows like that?
But if you wait a little bit, he'll actually show you the air compressor that he was using, and it was, I think it was like 100 pounds, and we had it up to 120, and he said, and it was, I think it was like based on the size, it was like half the size of our tank, and it said it got him about 15 seconds of runtime with
15 seconds.
100 pounds of pressure. So our air compressor should have been enough.
Okay.
And
Yeah, that's really fine.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the.
that's the glass bead sand that I've ordered.
Uh-huh.
So I actually have 50 pounds of it at my place currently.
Okay, okay. It's interesting.
Yeah, I borrowed some of these.
It is super cool, though.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
And so I got my siblings to sift for me.
Good for them. Good for you.
I also helped a little bit. But we also tested that out also, and we did get a lot. I was actually surprised. It felt like gravel almost. Putting my hand through the stuff that came out, and it still didn't work quite the way I'd hoped. But and yeah, and of course, Grant Thompson made it step-by-step instructions as soon as I'm done.
As soon as you finished? So he did it with, is that a hot tub that he put it in?
Yeah, that was Grant Thompson. No, sorry. That was Mark Rober.
Okay.
Yeah, he made.
It's sitting in a hot tub filled to the brim with solid sand.
So cool.
This is one of the coolest things ever. If you take a cup of sand like this, and then add air just the right way, it basically becomes a liquefied sea.
I just want to play with it.
Yeah.
Makes it look like milk, doesn't it?
Yeah,
That is cool.
I learned quite a bit from this project. I'd never really done anything hands-on before, and then I get to put pipes together and learn to use a compressor and all that fun stuff. Alright, I think that's just about it.
That's cool. Okay. Anybody got any questions? No one's going to any questions. Seriously. Okay. You can give him a nice round of applause then. My next poison is the lovely Miss Isabel. She's a poison. That's when you get a Jersey accent. Yeah, I want you to get that working so I can play with it. That's what's important.
Yeah, I'll make sure to bring it by. That ever works. Oh, I think I did mention something. Currently, the next thing we're going to try is we're going to get the rungs closer together. Because one thing I noticed in Grant Thompson's video is he doesn't have any space in between all the T-fittings.
Really?
And so I thought maybe if we brought the two together, maybe it would.
Be nice if you could experiment just a little bit with this, with your new sand, and before you do that, though. Always good to have a control group there. Or at least loses a line. See, I'm concerned about you now. If Lane were losing a line, you'd be okay.
What?
What? I know you
Said
weren't.
if
That's
you
why.
lost a lung, she wouldn't care.
But she cares if I was
She did.
No,
Yeah.
I wouldn't care either.
Yeah. Yeah. The important things. I just want to point out. Okay, I'm going to admit this on live streaming. Friday night, I was at another ball game, not yours, guys. I didn't go to Clay Center. But while I was at the other ball game, I was streaming you guys. And I'm just going to give a shout out to Mr. Rose because his streaming is just amazing. And not that it wasn't, the other streaming was horrible. It just wasn't the quality that Mr. Rose does. But it was good that I could see you. And my favorite thing is that the other team kept calling Blake Hebley. He called him Hebley throughout the entire presentation. He'd say, and there's Hebley, And I was like, oh, I know. I could just see Blake giving that look that he gives whenever he's like, you know, Mr. Verklempt.
eyes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah.
Just frustrated.
But it was good. I mean, they could pronounce your name correct.
Sherd?
They call it Sherd.
Sherd? Is that not how you
Which
pronounce
was
it?
good.
Say
Sherd?
Johan's name right too. Rahul's husband.
Yes, I was like, wow. I mean, that's pretty amazing.
Ross.
Yeah, because we have some unusual names sometimes. But it was, but it was fun. It was fun. But I was kind of traitor-esque because I was like watching y'all at a different ball game. But yeah. Okay, Miss Isabel, let's bring it.
Okay. I decided I wanted to figure out how to use an Arduino. So I wanted to be able to understand it so I could move on to more difficult projects. And I knew nothing about what I was going to do. So I just kind of went with it and ordered the Arduino. And I made this project plan. I didn't really end up following what it says. But so for the first 2 weeks, I started with watching videos about circuits and stuff because I really didn't know what I was doing. And I figured out what materials I needed, which are the breadboard, the Arduino, the cord to connect the Arduino to my computer, and the resistors and jumper wires. And the most helpful video I found was definitely just one on breadboards. It wasn't even talking about Arduinos, but it helped me figure out how to set up the circuits to make lights turn on.
Good deal.
And so I finally went back there and decided to just plug some stuff in, which was a bad idea because I destroyed a light bulb because I plugged it into the 5-volt and it just blew the top off.
Yay!
Nice.
Yeah. And so then I decided I should probably figure out which things actually were supposed to go in what holes. And I plugged it into the 3-volt and then it worked fine.
Mm-hmm.
And I also learned that there is a wrong way to put in the LED. The longer leg is the input.
Longer side is the which side, the positive or the negative?
Positive. And so I finally created a circuit.
Yay!
And then I realized that I can make it a lot simpler. And then I added a second line just to see if that would be. And then I figured out that you could use the 5-volt if you had a resistor. But I stood really far back when I plugged it in. And then I figured out the code and, and I got it to blink because it's work.
So explain to them what the code does. Okay, so that see she's got code up there. What that code does.
So you have to. One of the things that I had trouble figuring out was like the Arduino has the holes on the left side and with the numbers, and that's where you put it in when you're going to use a code. And so you have to say which hole you're putting
Which
in.
pin?
Which this one I said 7. Or I think I actually this is a different code. I actually used like 10 or 11 it looks like, but it's the same code. And so you say that's what it is, and then you use the digital right command to say you're turning it on, and then delay, and it's milliseconds, which I didn't realize at first. But so you have to say 1,000 milliseconds, and then turn it off, and then turn it back on, and then after I got that first light to blink, my Arduino just would not change the code, and I had no idea what I was doing wrong. So I messed around with it for like 3 days, and I got nothing done. So then Mrs. D said I should ask Josh to look at it, and it took him about a minute.
Because I think what he said was you had copied the code within the code. So there was one line, you'd like copied it into your program once and then accidentally copied it again.
Oh no, he did that when he was.
When he did that?
Yeah.
So
the thing that was wrong, like he was copying and pasting stuff to fix thought I did that.
He did.
But
We'll blame him. Okay.
the thing
So
that
what was wrong with it?
it was just a little thing I wouldn't have known to do. Like it was set like to send the code to the Arduino. It was set on Bluetooth.
So
And
it was
he
not
just
reading.
pressed
He
the
changed
button.
it to
He
USB.
just changed it to USB, and I wouldn't have even realized that I had to do that. But yeah, so that was what was wrong with it. And after that, it was fine, and I figured everything out. And I got multiple LEDs to blink, and I figured it. And then the last thing I did was I learned to make it fade, like the LED fade on and
That's
off.
good.
And you use a different command for that, and only certain pins can do this technique.
Mhm.
So
Because they have automatic resistors in them.
I
see.
made different LEDs.
Yay! Very good.
I made it fade, and this is the first time I did it. It was kind of just step by step, and then I tried to make it do it smoothly, and it just did this weird blinking thing. And then I fixed the code, and then it was finally doing it right.
There it is. Yes.
And that is all I managed to get done in the 4 weeks. And
Still good.
so I now know a lot more about Arduinos and electronics in general. Although I barely scratched the surface of what the Arduino can do. And I learned not to just randomly plug stuff in because a light bulb will explode in my face.
Yeah.
But my most successful moment was definitely finally getting my new code to work after Josh fixed that for me. And I think that's it.
Very good. Very nice. Question for you. So y'all common nerd people, when you use a breadboard, I mean, why can she plug things in and get it to work without soldering to make a circuit?
Because the input is already there under the breadboard.
What is it under the breadboard?
I don't know. It works.
It's magic.
It's magic.
It's magic.
Yep.
Because the whole bottom of the breadboard is a conductor, right? So you're actually plugging pins directly into a live conductor. That's what you're doing, right? And the reason I'm bringing that up is that might just come around and for you next week. Just saying. So.
Right up there, Lane.
Okay, nice. By the way, you can give Miss Isabel a round of applause. The girl survived explosions. So she took her learning in her own hands. You have to understand that I had Wesley Johnson sitting over here who took a live current.
Wesley's a
stud. Yeah, and Groslin was laughing at him the whole time. He was getting popped over here. So, yeah. If you haven't been popped at least once, you're not an engineer. And just so you'll know, engineers like that's their first, the first and second year of the stuff they do, they're doing exactly what you're doing in college.
Lane, can you plug in the aux thing so it's doesn't have that noise?
Yeah, or we can turn it off. That would be good if you plug it in though. The white noise is annoying, isn't it?
Yeah.
Wait, Laner.
just have that the whole entire time.
Oh no. That's not good.
Presentation.
Show. I like it when you just get down to the basics. Show. And I like it when you can spell printing correctly too. That's printing.
Printing.
Because I did 3D printing.
3D printing.
Here, you want me to fix it? I'll fix it.
That would be nice. 3D printing.
I didn't care about the first slide.
The best words. Okay, there we
So
go.
I did 3D printing. My name's not Tron. The description of my project. I want to learn how to 3D print, but I kind of already did because sophomore year I did 3D printing, but the 3D printer was broken, and before we got this new one, and so I didn't get to print my stuff, and so now I got to print my stuff, and I really like 3D printing. My goal is to print something challenging. It sort of was challenging. I'll grab it. So the body was really easy to make, and the legs were easy to make, and the connectors were sort of hard, but putting it all together was kind of the hardest part. And I'll show you more like how I built everything later. I had to learn how to use Tinkercad and MakerBot, but MakerBot I really didn't have to learn too much. Because you basically just put it in there and hit run. Review my plan. Pretty much did what I said. The tutorials, I watched that video and it really wasn't that helpful, but on Tinkercad, when you start, it asks if you want to do a tutorial, and I did that tutorial and it really helped. So yeah, week 2, week 3, week 4, I just worked on my project and got finished. Learning mastery. Okay, I'll show you. So in Tinkercad, it's really easy to use, which I liked. So we'll go here. This is where I made everything, and then I would copy it, and then I make a new project, and I paste it in there, so then I wouldn't have to print, like export this and then delete everything. So the leg, I'll actually ungroup everything, so you see what all is. So there's like 4 different shapes here that I had to use to make the leg. So I used a half sphere, pyramid, and then I used 2 boxes to make the leg. And I made the hollow, so when I printed them, they wouldn't have to print as much, so it would take less time. To make a hole, it's really simple. You just basically just have one object, and you bring another one out, and then you just make it smaller, and then you make this one the hole, basically. And then you shift click so both of them are selected, and then align, which is a great tool, because if you don't use align and you just try to drag it in the middle, it's not always perfect, and you can't get it perfect. But if you do shift click, have both of them, and hit align, it does it like just perfect. And then you just group it, and then it makes a hole for you.
That grouping tool is awesome.
Yeah, it really helps. And so that way I also can make like the whole leg is one object, and so I don't have to print multiple things. And then so what I do is I copy something.
By the way, guys, Tinkercad's an online free design
It is
tool,
online.
so it's not like separate software that he's downloading.
What is this? Okay, so like in this one, I built the leg and then I exported it and I put it into here to a different one, so it's just the legs all by itself. And then I export, and I go to an STL file, I download it, and then I go to MakerBot and you'd import the STL file, and when I first had it in, let's that was like, when I imported it, that was the size of them when I imported it, and so I had to scale it and make it bigger, so they weren't like just really tiny, because that would have been hard to put together if everything was just super tiny. That's pretty much what I learned in Tinkercad. The results, here's my result. I printed a body, 2 legs, and then 2 connectors. So the legs would connect to the body and they move around.
Yeah, so even the connectors are 3D printed, right?
Yeah. They come out and you can put them back in. So it's pretty simple. It's like not very fancy, which is kind of something I would want to do, is make it more detailed. My project overview, the connectors, so for everything I exported, I made it 400 times bigger, but when I did that with the connectors, they were too big, so when I tried to put them together, they break, and so I made it like 399% bigger, and so then it fit perfectly, and that's it. If I could redo it, it'd be to add more detail, because it kind of just looks like kind of dumb, I think, but, I mean,
It doesn't
you
look
can tell it's
dumb.
R2D2, but I think it'd be cool to have like all of the details on there. But that would be a lot of work, and it'd take a lot longer than 4 weeks to do. So
Very good. Anything else you want to add about what you learned about printing or anything?
it takes a while. I think the body took 9 hours.
Something like that.
Or something like that. And so you print at the beginning of the class, you really can't do anything.
Yep.
So.
Okay, very good, sir. Thank you very much. Let's give Lane a nice round of applause. And our last presenter of the morning, it's the Chris.
Yep.
If he can hobble to the front and nobody like trips him or anything.
Hopefully, nobody would do that.
We love you, Chris. We
Looking
wouldn't
at
do that, and if we did, we would laugh very loudly.
That's encouraging. Good. So, I got it.
He's multi-talented. He can carry a computer and hobble.
Look at me get up.
Go, Chris. Go, Chris.
Okay.
Yes, right there, right there.
Thank you.
It was extraordinary.
Very nice.
We didn't clap for
We didn't. We didn't Chris for you, Lane. Clap for you, Lane.
Chris.
I was going to say, Lane, if you see again, when I was talking about the lung thing, I was not kidding.
Okay.
Can you go get a drink?
I choked on it.
You actually choked on the one. Okay.
Yeah. That ain't it.
You just used ain't, Chris. I'm so sad.
What?
You used to use the word ain't. You did. You said, that ain't it.
That ain't it.
Chris,
That ain't it.
please
Chief.
no. Please no. Literacy good, Chris.
Okay, so this is how we made a YouTube channel.
By Chris Woman.
Well, I should put Gabe Lundberg in there too, but I did like sort of a joint project with Gabe. Not really, but he helped out a lot, so I'll give him a shout out because
He did help out. He
He
did.
helped out a ton actually. Yeah.
Gabe.
So description of projects. Here lies the project's description. So I first started out. I wanted to do something with a camera because the only work I've done with a camera in Vision Tech has been on the big movies, and I wanted to do something on my own. So I decided I would make like a comedy sketch thing, which is kind of what we did. We wanted to make a YouTube channel, and we wanted to have more. Right now, we only have one on our YouTube channel, which is here. Exhales through nose, because that's what we decided the name would be, because that's what we wanted. That's the goal. We want you to go like, and that's about it. So that's what we said.
Thank
That's what
you
we
for
said.
illustrating.
That's what we said it would be. So that's sort of my learning goal was really all DSLR related. I kind of knew how to work a camera anyways, but I just never really gotten to use one before. So that's kind of, and I wanted to learn a little bit more about, putting together stuff in Premiere Pro and using that program, even though I've also used that before. I just wanted to bring everything together, have a whole project, do it on my own. So that's kind of what I did. I didn't really use any tutorials for it. Didn't need them, so I didn't use them.
Yikes.
That's not technically true. I did look up how to do something on a DSLR, how to make sure that the ISO was where it needed to be, and everything like that. I didn't really save it to this though, because it was pretty quick. It's Yeah, so week by week, I was gonna film and edit. Time lapse of editing, that didn't happen. But it was okay because the grade, I just talked to you about it, so we're good. We do have a ton of outtakes that I want to make into
Yeah, the outtakes were fun too.
So that was the goal of the project going into it, and sort of just wanting to make a YouTube channel to do that. And so we started, well, there you go. For the Mastery of Technology that we did, this is kind of what we had for the ideas. As you can see, there's a ton of them in here. We want to do a song about OJ. We talk about, there's one about a phone call between two people saying he's busy. We actually did film that one, but it didn't turn out to be as funny as we wanted. Apparently there's one about a concussion. I think I wrote a few of these, and he wrote a few of these. So just learning how to collaborate as well was a big deal. Yeah, and I tried to pull up Premiere so I could show like what we did in Premiere, but it doesn't work on, because my version's newer. So on that computer, a lot of what we did was making sure that the clips were cut together well, and didn't have a whole lot of downtime. We wanted it to look sort of like a documentary as well, so there's a lot of clips over other clips of people talking, which made a pretty cool effect. And we also got a few different, locations to film at. We filmed in McPherson and we filmed in Lindsborg, which kind of made it a little bit funnier because we just went to Caps and filmed, and there's like people walking in and out, which for like trying to make a serious documentary, just kind of adds just a little bit of funny. So yeah, a lot of it was figuring out like a little bit comedy writing, but we didn't really, I don't know, something along those lines. So yeah, and then this is what we ended up with. It was 5 minutes, and like I said, I would be showing you what I did in Premiere, but I can't do that because it's a different version. But it was pretty basic editing, not gonna lie. It wasn't too crazy. And we didn't do anything with like an intro in After Effects, which I wanted to do, but just didn't have enough time because Swisher. So
my name is Monsieur Gustave. I'm a college student making a documentary. Most people decide to make their documentaries about things that are impactful. I decided to make my documentary about a SoundCloud rapper. He goes by the name Young Angel, also known as Young Gabriel. Some say he's the next Prodigy. Some say he's the next Eminem. Well, today we're gonna go see what makes him tick, and if anything makes him tick.
Yo, what's up? My name is Young Angel. I spell that Y-U-N-G Angel. And they're making a documentary about me because I'm the best rapper out there.
Okay, so like, how'd you start getting into rap?
But I first decided I wanted to be a rapper when I heard the song Gucci Gang. It's got this really nice hook. It says, Gucci Gang, Gucci Gang, Gucci Gang, Gucci Gang, Gucci Gang, Gucci Gang. And that was just so impactful to my life that I wanted to be like that. I wanted to do that.
You already know this is my workstation. This is where I download all my beats from the internet. The service I use only has 2 free ones left, so I've got 2 more songs before my career is over. I could pay like $5 for a beat, but no one's bought my songs yet, so I can't do that yet. So go buy my songs on SoundCloud. This is where I rap my raps. I wrapped them into this rapper's microphone. It's my dad's.
Looking for a film location for the video for my new single. It's called Blood. It's about when I scraped my knee. It hurt really bad. We called the train people to see if they could stop all the trains so we could film on the train tracks. Because I'm really scared of trains. My mom was hit by a train right before she had me. We're gonna do it! Even with the train! Come at me, trains!
My mom said, go clean my room. I said, that's not what I do.
Gabe, that mic's not plugged in.
Chris, I told you to plug it in! That was the best I've ever done that. I can't do that again, Chris. You know, it's not easy rapping in towns with no gang violence. I don't have anything to influence my rap. I don't have any hard times to rap about, so I gotta make them up. I got this one song called I'm Still Waiting. It's about how my bananas are never ripe. Always too green. And I look away for 10 seconds, and then the brown. I got a song called I'll Kill You. It's about how my little brother stole my toothbrush. I'm writing a song right now, actually. It's about how my coffee shop switched to almond milk. Why would you even milk an almond? It's not even an animal. I wrote a song called My Mom Took My Jewel. I didn't have a jewel, but if my mom would have taken it, I would have been mad.
Hey, Gabe, your mom's home.
What?
Your mom's home.
I'm not on your computer, Mom! It's so hot out here. No, Mom! I need you to come pick up my hoodie. I don't want it anymore. Mom! For real, though, for all you young entrepreneurs, rappers, and movie stars out there, all you young people that want to follow your dreams, all you gotta do is not give up and keep following your dreams. And no matter what, no matter how hard it is, no matter who tells you you can't do it, no matter what, you shouldn't try, because I'm already the best, yo.
When you can't spell.
Yeah. So that's kind of what we came up with. Yeah. I don't really know how to describe that other than it's kind of funny.
Oh, I like it.
Yeah, we had a good time. We're gonna
It's
do a
so
lot.
funny.
We're gonna do a few more of these. It's something we're probably gonna continue. So, yeah, we had a.
I
we
like
had a
the
good time
mom
with it.
come pick up my
Please like
hoodie
and subscribe.
phone call.
We
That's gonna be
had
my favorite.
apparently there were a few like 8th graders that actually went and looked for him on SoundCloud.
You're kidding.
No.
Yikes.
They're gifted.
Yeah. That was a shock. I really didn't expect people to be that dumb.
Well, then it's time for
Pretty-
him to come out with the song on SoundCloud.
Maybe we should make us. We should not make a song.
I think it should. We get Young Schneid and yeah.
Young Angel.
Young Angle.
Yeah, Young Angle.
Yeah, we had a good time with it, and a good thing also was learning how to, make a YouTube channel. But we already knew.
Did you monetize it?
No, we didn't monetize it.
Gotta make money.
Maybe we'll get a little bit bigger. It's actually got more views than I thought it would. 126. It's not bad.
Pretty good.
Yeah, so we had a good time with it. That was my project. Yeah.
Okay. Anybody got any questions? No questions?
I don't think you can have questions about that. It's just pretty much.
You didn't tell us to like and subscribe.
In the next documentary.